Hello, I'm Connor Sansby and welcome to Thanet Writers investigate opinion columns. An opinion column is a non-fiction article where a writer expresses their opinion about a certain topic. Opinion columns tend to appear in newspapers, magazines and websites, but are more than just one person expressing their view. To find out more, I've come to speak to Kent Columnist of the Year finalist Seb Riley. Hi Seb, thanks for talking to me today. So, first of all, can you tell me what an opinion column actually is?
An opinion column is kind of a newspaper column where someone expresses their opinion, but it's a bit more than that. What you want to do really, or what writers tend to do, is express an opinion that people will be able to get alongside. It's expressing an opinion that a lot of people will have, not necessarily everyone, but a demographic or a group, in a way that other people can relate to and come understand, and is putting into words what people can't necessarily put into words.
So it's a bit more editorial than an actual...
Yeah, I always think of them as a little bit more editorial. There's elements of putting across your own life and telling it from your own point of view. People will need someone to empathise with, someone to understand and relate to. So as the writer, you are the central point that they understand. However, at the same time, you want them to be able to kind of either believe in what you're saying and understand what you're saying, or disagree with what you're saying, which people are perfectly within their rights to do. And all your job is to express your opinion, which is not just going to be shared by you but other people, on whatever topic or subject that you're writing about, in a way that is going to allow people to understand it clearly.
Giving it the personal focus point.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can use anecdotes and stories about your life and funny little happenings or what happened to you that week or whatever, then that kind of adds to it, and generally that's what people do.
So how did you get into writing opinion columns?
Well, when I first started writing, I started writing a novel, and I then became aware that to get anywhere as a writer, I was going to need to have kind of a presence. I was going to need to have a reputation. The best way I could see of building a reputation was to write for different publications in different places. So to start with, I started writing out short stories and sending them to places, and bits of poetry and that sort of thing. And I also started writing a kind of a guest column for a blog. Now it's not even online anymore, it's all gone now, but at the time it was really good for me because I wasn't writing on my own blog, I was writing for someone else.
Yeah.
So I treated it like a deadline. I could do what I want when I wanted, but I said, right, I'm going to write this kind of frequency, I'm going to do it by this date each time and this time, and I was going to submit it by a certain time to make sure that it went out at kind of roughly the same time, to get me into the discipline of writing to a deadline, so that eventually, if I ever got in a position where I had to do that, I'd be used to it.
I think that's a very good point, that a lot of people sort of just wait for writing to come to them rather than taking the active role.
Yeah, and that I thought was quite important. Also, I had to come up with something to write about. I can't just be like, nothing's happened to me this week, so I can't really write anything. I had to come up with something. I had to pull something out of thin air or find a local issue or something. Yeah. And it was sort of a local thing. And from that, and having written essays and articles for like Thanet Writers and for a few other sites, I then kind of had some other opinions on things. I found I was actually having opinions on things, as you do. But I had some other thoughts on some bigger issues. The US election was happening at the time. I had some thoughts on that. So
a few people did.
I think they did. So I drafted up a piece in sort of the run up to it, kind of a bit of a mid-take piece, and I was looking for somewhere to put it. And I was thinking about putting it on a blog or putting it on a self-publishing site. And then I realised that actually you can, the Huffington Post have open submissions. Now they don't pay, which people question, but they have a huge presence. And as a fledgling writer with no presence, that was a massive opportunity for me. So I submitted it to them. They accepted it, published it, stuck it on their front page. I then sent a few more over a period of time, sort of following the same theme, and they got me huge notice.
Yeah.
And just by writing a kind of an opinion column following the same pattern but a longer piece, for them got me big presence and got me the opportunity really to write for local magazines for money.
Yeah.
Because I was then able to pitch to magazines that I like the look of and say, look, this is me. These are a few things I've written. Here's something in the Huffington Post. Here's something for a blog. Here's something there. I would like to write for you, and they would say, well, give us a pitch. I'd pitch them, and they'd
Yeah.
say, "Oh, we'd like you to write that. This is what we're going to pay you per word." And then all of a sudden, I was a professional writer because I was being paid for it.
I think with those sort of early days, you know, the idea is ideally you don't write for free, but at the same time you have to weigh up the
Oh, absolutely.
appropriate cost for what the exposure actually is. So somewhere like the Huffington Post is a fantastic
Yeah.
entry platform there. What advice would you give to people who are looking to start writing opinion columns?
I'd say to start would be the best thing to do. Pick something, pick a topic, come up with an idea, draft up a little 2 or 3 sentence pitch, and then contact some places that might publish it. I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm writing for the local news.
Yeah.
I was, nominated for an award, which was quite nice, and got shortlisted as a finalist, which is great. It's quite a nice recognition that actually what I'm doing is not nonsense, but I'm okay at this.
Yeah.
I'm not writing for a national, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just writing for a local newspaper. But I'm writing for a local newspaper. That means I have a voice within my local community, and that's something I take very seriously and something that I feel is a great responsibility. And I don't think that's something that you can just jump into. A fellow columnist of mine, Matthew Munson, who's also involved with Thanet Writers, does exactly the same. He writes a lot more frequently than me, and having spoken to him about this, his advice is very, very similar to mine. It's find somewhere where you can start, then go write something, pitch it to them and see if you can get in. A guest blog post or a self-publishing platform like Medium or Vocal Media or something like that. There's loads of these things around that you can just kind of go and put your stuff on. Editors still have to read it, but it allows you to kind of, it's halfway between self-publishing and being published if it's being read by an editor. If it's blogging, then you treat it like it's being published. Everything you should treat like it's like you're writing for a national newspaper.
Absolutely.
And then from there, keep going, keep writing stuff, write about big issues, test out politics, test out, whatever, any issue that comes along, anything that's in the news and you think, oh, I have an opinion on that, write it out. Even if you're just doing it as a form of kind of therapy almost for yourself, as a way of getting it out, write it out and then edit, construct it, turn it into something that has a beginning, a middle and an end, that isn't just a rambling but is a concise piece. Set yourself a word limit between sort of 500 and 1,000 words. That's normally good for an opinion column. About 800 is the sweet spot, I find. And that's what general guidelines are from most places. It's about 800 words is what they want. They'll go out down to a 500, up to 1,000, but that seems to be really, really good because you can read it in a single sitting, you can read it on a phone without stressing your eyes. People like that. So yeah, stick for about 800 words, write some stuff, pitch it, see how you do.
Alright, well thank you very much for talking to me.
No problem.
So as you can see, opinion columns are a lot more than just one person's opinion and can inform other disciplines of writing as well. I'd like to thank my guest Seb Riley. On behalf of Thanet Writers, I've been Connor Sansby. Thank you for watching.